Diego, kick it off. I know you want to talk about this.
Oh
So do
man.
I. But you have the question or the meme in question or whatever it is. But you know what I'm talking about in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the dreaded question. Because I know we got some mixed feelings in this chat right now.
yeah. So last week we never got into it because we talked a lot about the Baltimore Bridge last week, which was a very good convo. But
Yeah,
we
Baltimore.
during that time we were supposed to talk about, and this is a question, and it went back. It's been going back and forth, I would say, a couple of years, but it really fired up towards the beginning of March Madness. And it's the question: is it weird to be a fan of a college you didn't go to, a diehard fan? And I've had some like a week to like breathe about it now since the group chat and the
Breathe about it.
since
Yeah.
breathe like just and breathe
on
and
it.
think and take
Yeah,
deep
yeah.
breaths about it.
Meditate, yoga,
Meditate. Yeah.
Just thinking, and
get in a Zen state.
it's so complex for me because yet it's not weird to be a fan of a college. I think I've come to that of a college you didn't go to. I think I've come to that conclusion. And I
Yeah.
know, and I know that like these big colleges, like the reason they're so big is because they have fans that didn't go there. Like even Boise, like there's just people in the Boise area that when Boise's good, they're just going to go to Boise games and support the Broncos, right? Just and all of that makes sense. Or your parents go there, you have family ties. Like I root for Cal, right? Like they suck, but I have like some family ties there, so I root for Cal when they're not playing Boise. Like it's awesome. UCLA is the same way. I try to root for UCLA because my mom went there. There's just part of me that can't shake the weirdness of if you go to a school with Division One athletics, you root for another school over that school in Division One athletics. I think that's my final conclusion. Is that
Okay.
no, it is
I
in my
agree.
opinion, it's not weird to
So
be a
fucking
fan of a
weird.
college, but like we're gonna hear from Team
Not weird at
Boyson
all.
on the other side. Yeah, I just love to hear your opinion on this because like I think
Okay, I have
and
an
like
opinion.
it doesn't make
I have
me angry. I just find that strange.
I feel
I
like
have
it's very
opinion.
bandwagon to root for another team you didn't.
Yeah,
you didn't
I
go
mean,
to.
I have
Not
friends.
when
I
you
mean,
were
we have
born and
someone else.
raised an Oklahoma fan.
I was born and raised a Cal fan though. Like that's the thing.
You like
But, like,
Cal for 18 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
Here's
and then I
here's
chose
my
to go to
point.
Boise State.
Here's my point. I
And
think
now you
that
don't like Cal, so you're a bandwagon.
I do like Cal, just not as much as Boise State.
We
Go,
can
go,
we
Gallery.
argue
You're
about
backing me
that.
up. Here we go.
yeah, I mean, here's my point. I think if you grow up in the area, valid. I think that if you go to the school, valid. It's a little shaky when it's like, oh, my mom or my dad or my family's from there. I think it's shaky just because you can't be rooting for that team over those two things that
Your
I just
alma
said,
mater?
the local team
Oh,
or
you
your alma
absolutely don't.
mater. No, that doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. That's bandwagoning. It's fun.
No, no,
I- I just love to hear your side. I
Yeah,
just
let's
love to
hear
hear
your
your
side.
side.
Go ahead, Zach.
Here's
Go
my
ahead.
side, man. My dad was raised an Oklahoma fan, right? He had Cody and I and my sister. He raised us to be an Oklahoma fan since day one. Oklahoma and 49ers. That's it. Since day one. I was an Oklahoma fan when I went to Boise State. And if Boise State played Oklahoma right now, bet your sweet ass I'd be rooting for Oklahoma.
No.
Oh my
All
Wow.
day,
God.
every day.
It's like,
And I would
I
say
think-
it in
I
his face. I'd
think
say
that's
run the damn
where-
ball because we couldn't stop it against them corn-fed fucks.
Would you tell that to Kellen
Who's
Moore to his
we?
face? He was here.
Oh,
right
yes,
now?
for sure.
You see,
Wait,
like
wait,
I just
Zach,
find that
Zach,
like,
Who's
because
we? Who's
my-
we?
If I was to sit next to you guys, I would
Fish
say,
boy
run the damn
in the
ball.
bottom is in this too. Cody, what? I want to hear Cody. Cody,
Boy,
first of all,
All right.
Cody has been
Yeah, dude.
first of all, Cody has been
That.
the he has been the resident spokesman of Sooner Nation in the fall.
Yes.
So Cody speaks for Sooner Nation. Zach, we need to get you on in the fall to also speak for Sooner Nation.
Yes.
But to the listeners of Zooch and Wild, you guys know Cody. You guys know how much he loves the Sooners. I just love to get Cody's take on this.
All right. I mean, it basically comes down to what Zach said, but I have something that I didn't go to Boise State until I was my junior year. So people
Okay.
going their freshman year are like, oh, well, I'm going to see the Blue. I'm going to a major Division I athletics college. With a lot of those people with no prior fan base of nothing. Like they didn't root for another team until they got there. That wasn't the case for me. I got there when I was a junior, so I
Great
mean, I love Boise State. Obviously, I will say this: if Oklahoma came to play Boise State, I'm sorry, boys, I'm rocking with the Sooners. I didn't have a tie like when people come here their freshman year, like you did Diego or Anthony did, and they're like, "Oh, go Broncos," because you've been there since your freshman year. It's the thing to do. Major Division I sports program, so obviously you're gonna flock to being a fan. Yeah, you were a Cal Berkeley fan growing up, but is there really any Cal Berkeley fans out there? Like somebody's gonna be like, "Man, I'm a fan of the I'm a
There
fan of the
actually
Golden
are.
Bears." Like,
You know,
I've
Cody,
never
there
heard,
are.
never heard of
Cody,
you go to a
Cody, there
bar,
are.
you're
Cody.
like, "Hey, brother."
Cody, you should have seen the Auburn versus Cal game. That was like oil and water mixing Auburn and
Yeah.
Cal fans.
Man, it was pathetic. The game was like a 17-9 game.
I almost saw an old Auburn fan get into a fight with a 35-year-old Cal Bears fan in one of those, like, like the Cal rugby shirts, like the stripes in the khakis, and like this Auburn fan had a cane. It was one of the craziest optics I've ever seen.
It's not the
14-10.
game, dude. Not the
It was a great game. It was a
14-10
hell of a
Auburn.
game.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
great game.
dude.
Solid
I will
game.
say-
Sold out Memorial Stadium. It was. I think it might have been the only one that year.
Yeah, all 50 seats.
Cody, where
Yeah,
did
there was
before
probably
you went to
40
Boise
thousand.
State?
51 seats.
Huh?
Where
Hey,
did
they're
you go
middle
before
middle.
Boise State?
I went to a community college.
Okay, so the only D1 school you went to is Boise State. So there's your answer.
What if
Okay,
Elementary?
so wait,
that's
hold
not
on,
an
hold on,
answer.
hold on,
That's
hold
not
on,
an
hold on.
miles
If
away.
Yeah,
you're
I'm-
telling me if Montana
wanna
State
interject
came
real
against
quick.
Boise State,
Wait.
you'd root for the Broncos.
Yeah, 100% because I went here. I'm a diehard
Okay,
Bronco fan.
okay.
Yeah.
We fucking blew, baby.
All right,
Penn State. You
what
see,
do you-
I
John, what do you?
love Cal,
You're
but
right
if
next to
Cal
Boise.
played Boise, I'm gonna root for Boise. I'm not rooting for Cal over
Through and
Boise.
through. I don't live through my
So-
parents.
I like, yeah, I would say, I don't know. I enjoy watching other football programs or college football programs. I'll root for teams, but I do get your point of raising as an Oklahoma fan.
I will never
With your
go to
dad.
the Sooners. I'm sorry. It's just
I
it
know,
would
you
not
said that.
happen.
You said that. But
Well, I wanted to elaborate just a little bit more, but it's
Cody, now that we're
Didn't
on the
really
topic,
elaborate.
can you tell the story? And you've told me this, and it's a great story of when Oklahoma made the national championship in 2008, and maybe how you had to finish a certain homework. And by the time, I'll just let you tell it.
yeah, dude. Like I said, we grew up Sooner fans, and here we go. Here we go against Tim Tebow and
Yo, what's
the
good, brother?
Fighting Gators.
What's up, Kevin?
And I remember I was sitting at the table. My dad's like, "You're not allowed to watch the national championship until you get your math homework done." I started to fucking panic, sweating
Yeah.
up a storm.
It's still
meet
not done
sweat-
to this day.
meet meet sweat Kafka coming in hot. I literally did it as fast as I could. Said Zach checked it or somebody and faked the whole thing. Went to go watch the national championship, and then I see Tim Tebow just absolutely light up the locker room at half, and we lose. Devastating. But yeah, like just kind of wrapping it up. I would say this. I was more happy. I was the happiest I've ever been when we were up 21-0 against Oklahoma State. That's got to mean something.
who's we?
What do you mean we?
What team is we? Because you're apparently a
Boise
Sooners
State.
fan.
I'm saying.
Yes,
Let me
Boise
get-
State when they don't play Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. I was ecstatic. It was 21-0. I
Yeah.
couldn't have been more happier with our performance until Tim Plow just sat on a freaking steak and shit himself everywhere. Sorry. For
Hey, Tim, future friend of the programmer. He's another white whale for us. He's actually coaching at Davis now.
I
I think that guy's built for the FCS, man. I think Tim
Yeah.
Plow.
big guy.
I think I think he's a nice guy. I just think he might have been a little over his head at the time. I think he could do
Yeah.
great things at Davis. It's a good
Yeah.
school
If it-
for him.
Like
yeah.
I said, boys, I'll wrap it up. If it's anybody, it could be any other team. Are you really going to say like, okay, let's get into Ethan Drager, for instance. He went to Sac State. You're telling me if Sac State, if he was working for any other team growing up, he would go with the Hornets. It's the
So this
same argument
actually
you guys
opens.
have.
So
No,
this actually brings
plays
up a
Division I.
different.
That is
No,
a
s-
Division
yes,
I football team.
But this is like a different alternate. See, I actually like this by Cody because FCS I think is a little bit different. And like, look, I totally get your point. I don't think it's weird to be a fan of a college you didn't go to, but
Could be
it's
UL Monroe.
the point where we
favorite.
differ.
Wait, how? is
That's
it
my
different?
thing. Is like I don't think it's different. Oh, with
Like,
with
if
the
you go on-
FCS versus FBS, FCS schools like Cal Poly,
go there.
Sac State, Davis, they don't have. Look, it's D1 football, but
Yeah.
let's be
Asterisks.
You're
honest.
not going
Like
to be erased
Wait,
at Sac State.
I'm
It's
curious.
FCS.
I'm curious
it's
about this.
FCS.
Gene, what's your side? Because you're the tiebreaker here.
Well, I want to know. I want to know from your guys' perspective.
Or I guess
I've never been to a D1. Like I've never attended school at a major college or university. I've only ever gotten my certifications through community college. My intention is to go to BSU by August. That being said, I could give a fuck less about Boise State athletics. I go. No. Let me.
Sorry.
finish.
Then.
No, what I'm saying is we've got an LSU fan right here. He's going to break the tie.
Break this time. Oh, wait, Keen.
Keep going.
Before,
I wanted to
This is
finish.
This is the cavalry coming in for the Sooner Nation right here. Ryan.
Are you on our side or are you on their
Wait,
side?
just let me finish.
Hold the hat in.
I just want to make sure you're answering it.
Okay, so I don't really care much for college athletics, but I definitely don't care for BSU. I'll go and I'll root for them when I'm there live. When the game's on TV, I could give a shit less. So is the expectation that when I go to BSU, I stop rooting for the Washington Huskies or the Gonzaga Bulldogs? Is that the expectation, even though I never attended those schools? Or is
No,
it
but
just
you.
or that
No.
I'm supposed to play favorites? Because me personally, I don't see myself ever rooting more for Boise State than I would Washington. If both games are on at the same time, Tuesday. If both games are on at the same time, I'm watching the Washington game. And Zach will back me up. When I did watch the Washington Huskies play the Boise State Broncos at the start of the season, I was
Yes.
clowning the fuck
Yes.
out of the Broncos. I
Yes.
was.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I actually
Okay,
find
you're
this.
up
But then again,
It's
but then
3-3.
again,
Look,
I
it's
don't go
actually
there. But
interesting
also,
thing.
I never went there too. I never went to either
Before
school.
Ryan,
I have that excuse.
before
Yeah.
Ryan gets talking, because he is the, I think, outlier in what I've noticed here, is that the three people who agree, yeah, it's a little weird to be a fan of a college that you didn't go to over the college that you did go to. It's me, Sean, and Gally. What do we have in common? We were at Boise State our freshman year.
Yeah.
Maybe does that have to do with like being on campus? And like, I'm just thinking out loud here. Is it being on campus? Is it like Cody and Zach said, like going to those games your freshman year? Do you think that has anything to do
No,
with it?
it's all, dude. It's people look at the Broncos. We have off years. Some of our sports aren't the best, so that's why people bandwagon on these bigger teams like Washington, like Oklahoma,
But
like all these
think
other
with
No,
you-
teams.
but we were raised.
You.
We were raised
but-
to like
but
those
I-
teams.
Hey,
But I never
going
attended
with
the
slaves.
colleges.
it's only validated. It's truly validated. If you're
How?
a true fan, you have to go to the college. Like if you go to Boise State and then you're like, I'm a
Brother,
diehard Sooner fan.
brother,
No.
Yes,
brother,
no,
I mean,
do you
it's
think?
okay to like- it's
Listen,
okay to
Gally,
like-
Gally,
it's
hold on.
okay- It's okay.
What if
to
you didn't have
like
the money
these
to get
teams,
in?
But you can't.
I want to
Time
say
out.
something. I want to say something. Do you think it's truly possible for me to afford the University of Washington, let alone get in with my shitty GPA that I graduated high
Exactly
school?
what I was going to say.
I could probably get in now because I graduated with honors, but there is absolutely no way I could get into that, nor could I afford a private tuition like Gonzaga, right? Like, and I'm not moving, but I
Okay.
never went to those schools. So for me, like,
Yes.
I am kind of on the outskirts here
correct.
because
But you are going to D1 school where you should be a fan because you went to that
Yeah.
school. You never went
No,
to.
we
play
were
for them
I would
when you
just
go to a
relate
live
it.
game.
I would hope that.
Boise State
Oh,
fan.
go for it, Sean. Go for it,
So,
Sean.
okay, I've been cut off every time I talk. Okay, listen. Guys,
mean-
anyway, Heaton, with his situation, yes, it's different. But I will say, if you go to Boise State in August, it's still a little like, come on, dog. You're a Bronco. You are a Bronco. Everyone down here that I'm looking below
Yeah.
me is a Bronco.
It's a shame to.
I
to the
myself,
Boise
I'm a
State.
Bronco just to
Listen.
say I got my 4-year degree. I could care less
am
about the school I'm
so
going
we
to.
play the Sooners.
diehard LSU this, diehard LSU that. But on Saturdays when we're going to the game, I'm head to toe Broncos gear, cheering
You
for
are.
the Broncos.
Okay. Hold on. That's not the
If
question.
Boise played LSU, who'd you root for?
Wait, Boise State.
LSU.
No.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been an LSU fan way longer than I've been a Boise State fan. I
That's
grew
what I'm
up an LSU fan
I didn't know
But-
because I couldn't afford
Florida
to go to
State when I was a
LSU
kid.
because that's what I could afford. That's what I did.
Yeah. What did you just say? What did you just
I
say?
couldn't
before that?
afford to go to the other.
And then before
LSU.
that, you were raised an
Oh.
LSU
Yeah,
fucking
I was
fan.
raised an LSU fan.
If you're raised a band, you're not a bandwagon.
I
No,
got
you're
one
not
more
a
thing to
bandwagon.
say. I got one more
I
thing.
understand that, but you can't favor that over your alma mater.
You're
Yeah,
all
you
around. Where you go to
Hey,
school?
I think there has to be some loyalty to your alma mater. I mean, all of your memories are at Boise State. You
Okay, but
maybe
you're asking for
if
one
you've ever
one-off game.
visited the
I'm not saying
Exactly.
I'm not going to root for them
Yeah,
for
no,
the
it's
rest of the
Yes.
season or for the rest
and
of the
I don't
league.
think
You're
it's
asking for
weird
one
for you to
game.
be an LSU fan. I don't think it's weird to be a Sooner fan. Where the weirdness comes in for me, and it's not like I get angry. I just find it weird that you'd root for a college you didn't go to over a college that you went to and have memories and made
Okay,
all your
So I'm
friends.
supposed to,
If you're-
I'm
if you're
supposed to know
parent
I was
there.
going to Boise State at 2 years old.
Gally, sweetie, you're
No,
next.
no, that's not what
Hey.
we're saying. But once you go to Boise State, then it changes. You're like, oh, I'm a
So-
Bronco.
It
Now I'm
doesn't
a
change.
Diego.
You've been a
Diego,
fan
it
of
doesn't
other
change
teams.
for your
Diehard
identity.
fans.
You
we-
weren't raised a true
boys,
fan
we
of a
keep
team
bringing
then.
up this theoretical. Hey, we keep bringing up this theoretical Boise State versus your favorite team. Think if you were at this game and you're sitting next to an LSU fan or Oklahoma fan and say, "Why are you going to Oklahoma? Did you go there?"
But
Oh
they're
no,
not-
I went to Boise State actually. And they're like, "What the fuck? Like,
Cook.
why are you cheering for your university, your team? These clowns dropping the mic.
Not
It's
simple.
the end of conversation. Like, if you're in that situation, you
simple.
can't be like,
I
"Oh
love
yeah,
Boise
I go
State,
for them."
But
'cause,
I
like,
was
we're-
raised a Sooner fan.
My
I
answer to
attend every
that
single
is
time
I
I'm at.
love Boise State, and
My
I
answer to
was
that-
raised a
my
Tigers
answer to
fan.
that question, Gally, is I went to Boise State because I lived in Boise. It was cheaper. I couldn't afford to go to LSU, but I grew up a diehard LSU fan. Plus, I had a parent that went there, which I feel like is different. Like
Yeah.
my dad went there and grew up and like was an LSU fan,
Yes.
and that's why he raised me an LSU fan.
You just can't favor them over because you went to Boise
But
State.
you're asking
You
for
graduated.
one-off game. I can favor them for one-off game. I feel like what you're trying to argue is I'm not a Boise State fan at all.
No. I'm
No.
not saying that. You guys are all Boise State fans. And you guys all love the Broncos. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying
Very
I know, we're
loose.
kidding.
Keith
You
is
need
such
to,
a
you need to
fucking
learn.
fair weather fan. It's not even funny, dude.
Am
he
I
never
though?
mentioned.
Yeah.
You never mentioned Washington football until game 1 of this year. Michael Pitt started throwing
Yeah.
bombs.
Yeah. And then,
That's not true.
yeah. No, and then
I've told you multiple times, I don't give a fuck about college football. I think college football is the worst college sport. I'm sorry.
Well,
I will
yeah,
die on
those
that hill.
in words.
I think it's the most
Those
boring
are
college
fucking
football. I'm
words.
sorry. I'm sorry. And I told you, I will die on this hill.
The pride of college, and this is a personal thing. It's more. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sound like such an old man right here. It's more than it's the name on the front, not the name on the back. You know, you play for the Sooners, you play for the
Yeah.
Broncos, you play for the Tigers down in
You
Death
didn't
Valley,
play
man.
anything but die in a fucking backyard.
no, he's just saying
Huh? What?
college sports in general.
No,
He's not saying him.
No one's played anything though.
Not us. He's saying him.
Not us.
And that's
I'm
not
just
true.
saying that's the reason why
Yaya
people
and
like it
Cody
is
are collegiate
because
athletes.
you feel a personal connection. Like, look, I love the
Yeah,
49ers.
I don't-
like,
I don't get
I'm
that
a
though.
diehard-
I don't.
I would rather watch a 49er game than I'd rather watch a day of college football than a day of NFL, but 49ers overall. I'm not
I'm
going to
the
lie.
inverse.
Like, I love 49er games, but like the connection I have to the Niners is completely not as strong as the connection I have to Boise State. Like, it like,
I'm
I feel like
and
when,
guys-
when the 49ers
see-
lose, I'm pissed off. When Boise State loses, I feel like
Party.
I lost, and it's attack on like
you know
me
this.
and
You
my
know
strengths
this.
and my successes. Like because
I want- Yeah. I want
Like,
all
you'd
you guys
rather
to answer me
watch
this
a
when you guys
23-10 NFL game versus a 72-68 shootout in the Big 12. What? I'd rather
Yeah,
watch a
that's fucking-
72-68 game. with
It's the
I-
classic.
I don't. But
classic
but here's
saying,
my
the
thing, here's
average
my thing, here's-
NFL game is better
literally,
than-
Here's
and-
my point. Do you know what I do when I
There's
throw
plenty of
college
people
football on?
the
I
same
take a
boat as
nap.
you, though.
Okay, but here's my point. Here's
don't
my
take a
point.
nap.
Here's my point. No. I'm. This is my last point. This is my last point. Every single one of you guys, right? Every single one of you guys, I imagine, grew up with a parent or family member that went to a D1 college at the very least, or grew up watching college sports. Am I wrong? Zach, Cody, I know
Montana
you guys did.
State,
Diego, I know you
FCS.
did.
Best
Okay,
dial.
but you guys in some way, I know Yaya definitely did. You guys all paid attention to college sports. I did not pay attention to college sports unless it was college football national championship. I would watch quite a bit of baseball, quite a bit of basketball. That was it. Like baseball and basketball were my two sports. I only like the NFL. I like college football. I don't like mind it. It's just not my thing.
NFL
It's
did
just
used to
it
be
doesn't
better.
it doesn't do anything for me. It
But
doesn't
like,
do
How can
anything.
you like?
you would
How can you like the NFL so much, but then like you're just like, oh, college football is nothing. Like college football, the games are so much more close, higher scoring. You have so many cooler
No, they're
stories.
not. They're not
upsets.
though.
Yes, they are.
Dude, you don't have to watch.
Yes,
you don't
they
have to
are.
watch
You're not
some
watching
shitty
competitive
quarterback like just fail game after game after game in the NFL. That
Mhm.
happens. It's like in college. It's like if someone's playing shitty, we have 4 more players on the bench that will fucking come in and play their heart out. And not only that,
What about
hey,
prospects?
college football directly affects
Yes.
the NFL.
You'll
It
see more
directly
college
affects the
football
NFL.
games to watch.
You're literally watching the future on
Hey,
TV,
you're watching your future.
playing their hearts out. A lot of guys before the money, before the NIL deals, they are playing their hearts out because they know that
Okay,
if
well,
they don't,
they're all
they
loaded.
won't have a
but
shot. So
yes, okay.
they won't have a shot.
they are
to
now.
go. These guys play their hearts out it's the most
I think-
entertaining thing,
But
I think.
but you guys are debating
Watching
something that
those guys.
you guys
But
are
no,
debating
but
something that
tennis,
I genuinely just have
understand
no.
that. And
Tyler,
no,
I got a question for you.
I just
It's
don't
fair.
care. I don't
No,
care.
it's a fair point.
Never.
And from the outsider, I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, and you have the opinion that a lot of people who don't like college sports. It's a fair criticism, I think, because like you said, sometimes when Alabama plays,
They
an
literally
FCS
play
school,
They
it's-
open their
it's
season against Middle Tennessee
Chattanooga,
and won
like, yeah,
56
it's
to
a
7.
it's a bad game because that's the way that
guys,
like
I don't
schedules
care.
are set. The
I know,
parity,
it's a money
yes,
game.
sometimes the parity isn't there, but man, like I think the unpredictability of college is why I like it so much. Is because, I mean, at its core, it's 18 and 19-year-olds. Like when I was effing up when I was 19. Of course, these 19-years are gonna f up on the field. Like crazy shit's
Yeah.
gonna happen. Like that's why I like it. It's just so much more predictable.
F up.
And I will say, because this is something I feel very strongly about, maybe the average NFL game is better than the average college game, just because there's so many. A great college game's 50 times better than a great NFL game.
Yep.
It is 50 times better just with the unpredictability and with the way that the overtime in college is set up, in my
One of
opinion.
the greatest
That's fair.
NFL games that happened like during the regular season was the Thursday night game Chiefs Rams. You remember?
Rams. Yeah, that was crazy.
55-48.
Crazy.
That happens every
At the Pac-12 after night game.
that
Pac-12
happens
after dark
every
game.
week.
Arizona State versus
college.
Cal.
But it
The
does.
best
hey,
game,
look,
the
and let's
best
just-
NFL game ever.
I
every week in college.
Capacity of stadiums too. We can talk about that as well.
but then
Game
again,
day
I don't.
tradition.
But here's my thing. Here's another thing. I don't give a fuck.
I thought that was
Okay,
good.
guys,
Whoa, 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 whoa,
And I
whoa,
don't.
whoa.
I don't. I
But
don't. I
breaking
don't.
news, we're not.
This
that's not
is
what we're arguing.
controversial.
Yeah.
When it comes, but when it comes to
Not
the
brother.
stadium, the crowd, those things genuinely just don't do anything for me. I don't care about.
Maybe
the
it'll
sport.
change
I
when
like
you're a
college-
student, though.
Possibly.
Maybe it
That's
changes
true.
when you're a student, because it changed for me. I got on campus and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a Boise State fan. And the second I became a student and went to those football games my first year, and when we beat Florida State my sophomore year, like you feel
Yeah.
something.
I'm
I
probably
you
doing
go,
online classes,
whoa.
but still.
I did too.
But it's just it's one of those things. Like
for Oklahoma.
it's just one of those
I
things.
mean,
I don't
that's fair.
care. But I
Disagree, but it's fair.
watch the shit out of college baseball when it's on. If it's on.
Hey,
All
there's a chance you might go to end zone after the game, after a loss, and you might run into an Oklahoma State fan or a UCF fan, and they might say, "Hey, you guys fucking suck," and then it's gonna hit you in the heart. You're fucking
Me?
bleed blue.
Oh,
Wait,
it
are you
did.
saying
Yep.
me?
I will
If
say
they
this.
Oh, it
say
hits
that
you
to
in the
me,
heart.
if they
If
say
a
that
lot
to
I
me,
looked at the Oklahoma State
absolutely
game with
not.
just
This is from my own experience.
After
so.
the Oklahoma State game, I was walking downtown. I believe
walked
Diego,
downtown
these
and
guys
we-
drove by on Oklahoma State players. You losers, you suck! And I felt like somebody
No,
threw a dagger right
but
in
here's
my
the
chest.
thing is,
I
happened
got
to
straight
Keaton.
to the
Go
bar
home
and
after
said,
that.
That wouldn't
"What's
happen
wrong
to
with
Keaton
you
because he's
guys?"
not gonna wear any Boise State gear. He's gonna wear some fucking
Me
gray
and
ass
Diego
shirt.
had our
and
heads
no one's gonna
down.
know he's a Boise
straight
State
back
fan.
and walked downtown.
What?
That's
But
fair.
also,
Maybe we just went
I'm not.
Heads down.
I just don't want to spend money. I'm also, if I'm not, like, I don't even have a Washington State anything. I don't even have a Washington State hat. I don't have a sweatshirt. I don't have
Washington
anything.
State?
Or not
Yeah,
Washington.
yeah, yeah. You're a
University
Washington
of
State fan
Washington.
now?
Cougars. Yeah.
That's how fast he switched.
No, but I don't. I have nothing Gonzaga related. I don't have anything
that's kinda
college
weird.
sports related. I don't.
No, Gonzaga's fair. You don't want to support a guy with a DUI, so.
Took that long.
Hey,
hard.
Keaton-
Mark
because he
half you. Mark half
It's
you.
different, but I don't.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
I don't care much for college sports. I watch college sports because I like the sports that I'm watching. When it comes to football, though, I'm almost strictly
That's fair.
NFL only. I don't care about high school. I don't care about college.
There was nothing like
Maybe.
a weekend where you played high school football on Friday, watched college football on Saturday, and then Sunday got to unwind and
Yeah.
watch the NFL.
It's possible.
That's one of the best
Yeah.
weekends of anyone's life.
And we're watching the freshman football on Thursday and like a
Yeah,
10 to
it's on
8
Thursday.
game.
There's too much to Sam. There's 256 technically future players to watch. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
What about the undrafted
You guys are
players?
You guys are heated, but
Fine,
it's just
I'm not.
It just
I'm
I,
not.
I don't
well,
care.
we need to
I
get
don't
back
care.
to the original argument
No,
of
it's just
Yeah.
it's
Here's
just
my
even on.
question.
I'm not gonna lie.
I think
What?
I think that I think the
That's your
original
guys'
argument
thought.
we've come to a conclusion where we both said our points and we're not going to change each other's minds because
No,
neither
that's
of
not
it,
the point.
Will
Ask
I
the
watch
people
college
comment.
football? Yes. What are they going to do? Change my mind?
picked this
not-
actually.
No one
There is
changes
no
their mind.
Malcolm.
That's
There is no
impossible.
Malcolm X in this private chat that could change my mind.